There was a move that the LA Chargers made this offseason that really went unnoticed. And it's a really important move, and we'll break it all down in this video. If you're new, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel that's fully dedicated to the LA Chargers to give you an unbiased look into your team. We're here in Michigan, so we love Jim Harbaugh, so we know a lot about him. We can't wait to see how he turns this thing around. Okay, here is the move that with everything with Jim Harbaugh coming in, with all the changes, changes are exciting, especially when you want to win and you want to do it a different way. But there's one move that was made that really wasn't made. That is the move is that the LA Chargers kept in place their special teams coordinator. And I mean, you look at this, you look at the LA Chargers inconsistency over the past couple of decades has been poor special teams play. You got Nate Kading, missed field goals, the 2010 campaign where they were on top of the league in both offense and defense, but they didn't make the playoffs because of their terrible special teams. Special teams are so weird because it really makes or breaks you. You don't want to almost admit it that it does have such a heavy weight in the games, but man, when you got to have it, you got to have it special teams wise. Punts are huge when you're reeling a little bit and you got to punt, you can flip the field. That's huge. When you're, that 48-yard field goal that you need, right? You're down by 10 and you could cut it to one score, but it's a 48-yarder. Got to have it. And that's what's huge. So the corner has been turned, and this was in 2022, I believe. So 2 years ago, maybe one full year with Dicker and Ryan Ficken. So heading into a season with a predominantly new coaching staff, new coach, new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then, a lot of position coaches, Ficken was retained. So this did not make the headlines. This move of saying, we're going to keep you, Jim Harbaugh, thank you for being so smart. We've really turned the corner the last couple of years. We've got something here. We've got some consistency. Let's keep it and not rock the boat when it comes to special teams. It's so delicate. Special teams, they're specialists, like truly. You got your long snapper, you got, they're just kind of, you don't mess with them once it's good because it's so hard to get it right. You see it all across the league constantly. There's teams that have it right, and boy, it's just solid. And then teams that struggle. Lions struggled in 2021 and 2022, and they still are a little shaky on the kicker because they've traded their kicker. They brought that same guy that they traded back and then cut the guy and then traded and brought him back and practice squad. And it's like, oh my gosh, can we just get? So that's what the Bolts have right now. And I love it. So if you look at who they've got, return man Davis, J.K. Stout, and Cameron Dicker, all only amongst the league's best. And the Bolts have one less issue to worry about as they swing for the fences this season. Absolutely. So you look at it, you look at the holes on the Chargers team, and there's holes there. There just is. And it's the first year of this kind of, nobody's calling it a rebuild, but it is, right? You got a new coaching staff. You want to kind of take it down. You had to get rid of some inflated contracts. So you've got wide receiver, you got some holes. But the nice thing is you've got an entire unit, and I know it's smaller, but you've got a unit that's set. The defense is just going to be better, generally better than it was last year, right? And you've still got those main pieces in Bosa and Mack, Derwin James. Settle the defense down. And then offensively, just from a schematic kind of foundationally what they do offensively with Jim Harbaugh, you're going to be in games. Justin Herbert's going to be a lot more comfortable. He's not going to be asked to be Superman. They're going to run the ball, focus on that. So with Chargers, while personnel holes exist, there's such an improvement on what they can do just overall playing the game the right way. Now, as you shift focuses and look, we've been really focused on who they're going to take in the 5th pick, who they're going to take early 2nd round. Take a look at some of the guys that expect to be around 3rd and 4th rounds dudes. And this is where PFF said best fits of day 3 guys. And you can see the Chargers, Drake Nugent. And this guy, I'll tell you. So Nugent followed up a pair of impressive seasons for Stanford in 21 and 22 with another strong year in the middle of Michigan's championship winning offensive line. He earned an 78 PFF pass blocking grade and 76 blocking grade, and he can develop into a starting center if he lands in the right spot. Yeah, this guy just comes in. He was outstanding. And Michigan has so many really good players. And of course, that's been the big story of, who's Jim Harbaugh going to draft from Michigan. And it's going to be a couple guys, but there's offensive line guys that nobody else really knows about that Jim Harbaugh does. Nugent's one of those guys, just rock solid. And you can get him, he's a 5th-round guy. So you're going to improve, boom, center. You're going to find guys along the defensive line, wide receiver, maybe even later in the draft, corner, secondary. So the Chargers are in a lot better position than I think most people realize because they haven't made a lot of moves this year, which is, I think, very smart. It's year one of this new regime. You've had to get rid of inflated contracts. Almost the best thing to do was to do not much, but take it into the draft. At some point, you'll get a trade back offer, pick up a couple more picks. You'll be just fine. I think they've got 9 picks. Like, so there you go, right? Get 5 starters or like play guys that are just going to play 5 of those, and this team's going to be just fine. Jim Harbaugh is going to change the identity and can't wait to see it. So the special teams, not addition, but just not touching the special teams, something nobody talked about. It was so important because it keeps this team on pace to just keep that going. It's finally in a good spot, and I love to see it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.